Hi everyone, I'm Glenda with SureFit Designs, commonly referred to as Glenda the Good Stitch. In this video, I'm going to show you a tune-up for your back bodice. And this is a tune-up that you may or may not need. And I actually don't even know that there's a specific name for it, except for the fact that it looks like your back bodice is too wide for your body and that you end up with excess of fabric back there and perhaps some diagonal wrinkles. Well, by way of illustration and to help you learn exactly what to look for, let's take a look at a customer of SureFit Designs who I've got the photographs here and I'm showing this to you. You'll see that I'm showing the back left side and the right side. And of course, these are the before pictures. And you'll notice that I've put a big red circle right around where the underarm area is on both the back and the left and the right of the back of the bodice. You can see that I've drawn another arrowhead across that area. The whole thing just looks too wide. And even if we visually remove the seam allowances for the set-in sleeve that will go in there, you can still see that it's likely too wide for her. Also, you're noticing that she has a fairly substantial rounded back. And these diagonal arrows that are pointing to her shoulder blades, that's just meaning that she does need to have a shoulder dart. Now in this video, I'm not going to be showing you how to insert a shoulder dart because I've already done that particular video lesson. But at the end of this lesson, I will give you a specific link to that video on adding a shoulder dart. So let's now take a look at what we need to do to the back bodice in order to fix this situation. I'll pull in a back bodice and just assume that this is your body blueprint done in your size. Now, when I say your body blueprint, this is your bodice, of course, and it is done from the SureFit Designs dress kit. You'll also notice that I only have done one line of drawing here. That is the actual size of your measurements for your blueprint. I have not added seam allowances, and that's because I didn't want to visually distract you with too many lines. You're also going to notice that I have just put in red a shoulder dart, just again to remind you that this needs a shoulder dart, but that we're not going to cover that lesson in this particular video. Where we're going to deal with is the side seam and the armhole. So I need to remove width across the back of the bodice, but her waistline is correct. So I need to know exactly how long her side seam is. So I'm going to bring the line drafter into play here, and I'm just going to pull this a little bit closer to my line of vision. So I'm going to put the 0 of the line drafter at her waist point, and I'm going to measure up to her underarm point. And that distance is 8 3/4 inches. Now I want to maintain exactly that same length. So what I'm going to do is use the waist point as a pivot point, and I'm going to simply slide the upper portion of the line drafter towards me. And again, still with a 0 on the waist point, I am going to make a dot that indicates the same exact length being 8 3/4. And I'm coming in about 3/8 of an inch. You might ask, how much do I know to come in? Well, you can do a little pinning in the back of your bodice to see how much you want to remove. But starting off with 1/4 to 3/8 is likely adequate. Remember, when you do that on both seams, that's going to be a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch that you're removing. So it's easier to remove a little bit at a time and test it than to remove too much and go, oops, I don't have enough pattern there. So that's about 3/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch that I came in. Now I need to work on the armhole because additionally there was too much fabric going across the width of her lower back area. So I'm just going to turn my pattern so that I get a better perspective on this, and I'm going to use a pencil, and I often do this, you'll see me doing this frequently, is I'll just visually pencil in what I think looks like a good line. In this case, it's a curved line. And so I've got my pencil line there, and the other thing that I need to make sure of is that this armhole length is as close as possible to the original armhole length. So before I mark anything permanently, I'm going to measure the original armhole length, and that is 8 7/8 inches long. And then before I draw this in red, I'm going to measure my new penciled line and see how long it is. Because again, I don't want to modify the sleeve cap unless I have to. And that distance is also 8 7/8. Even though I've come in from the underarm point, because I have scooped this curve more, it meant that this curve got a little bit longer than that one. And that's why I've maintained the same length. However, you can see, I'm just going to do a really crazy example here for you. Let's say you scooped your armhole in that much. Well, obviously you wouldn't do that, but you can see that that distance is going to be way longer than this distance. So the deeper a curvature from where you started, the longer the distance is going to be. But I'm pretty comfortable with that. So now I'm going to bring in the designing stylus, and I'm going to now true this up permanently. I'll do it in pencil first of all. I'll just remove the stylus. That's pretty close to what I just penciled in there. So now I will come back with my red and I'll show this to you so it's really visually obvious to you. And there is the new back armhole. And now that we've got that done, let's take a look at the after photograph. And you're going to see a remarkable difference. Look at this back bodice. It fits her absolutely perfectly. The shoulder length is appropriate for her shoulders, and I have removed that excess of width across the back, and I've brought it in at the side seam because she simply didn't need it. When she moves her arm forward, as if driving a car, she's still got lots of reach room back there, but you can see how beautifully it fits. The other photograph that I've put on this after graphic is that I did put the shoulder dart in place, and that also helped to shape the back beautifully to her back body. So there you have it, a tune-up that you may or may not need on the back of your bodice. Any of these tune-ups, of course, are only if you need them. We're on the screen now where you'll see a link to the video that's going to show you how to put in the back shoulder dart. And right underneath where I'm speaking, there's a little circle that says subscribe. Please hit that button if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.